he went over to another table and got into a scuffle with these guys, like a group of guys. And they pushed him, and I looked over, and his fucking shorts fell off. And I saw his, and then he ran into the pit, calling for security, into the pit.
I do. This has only happened one other time. But I'm gonna do it again tonight. I'm having a threesome. But it's sad for all of us to collectively say, mainstream media, go suck a clay dick. Like,
you're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Saturday, May 13th, 7:37 in the evening. This is your weekly newscast, the one that takes on the mainstream media just because they don't want to talk about some things. Well, we do. Fitz, how you doing?
I'm great, as my good friend Anthony the Tiger would say. I think he said it a little bit different than I did, but no, I'm fine. Before the show we were talking, and you said you're a little jacked up tonight. You're a little amped.
I am.
Yeah, and I am too. I've had a hell of a week. For all of you that are following along at home, I did not get the position that I applied for. Not only did I not get it, I don't know if I told you this piece, but they in the ultimate twist of the knife, once it's been stuck in, they decided to just split the position that I applied for and divide the duties of that position up into the people that they already have on staff. So it's like, oh no, not only do we not want you for the job, but you're not really good enough for any part of it. So, go stick your dick in a light socket, I guess. So anyway, that's all to say that I've been through all the emotions this week, disappointment, anger, frustration, depression, all of it. The timing was perfect because on the ass end of all of that, I came out just amped up, ready for the show tonight. So
Good.
Here I am.
All right. Well, there's something to playing angry, right? I mean, there's something to being fired up for new beginnings, new doors getting opened or kicked open, or however we want to think about it. But it's nice that we can fall back on this every week, have our chat, and let everybody know what's going on and some of the stuff that shouldn't be going on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a tough week. It was a tough week, but I'm glad we made it.
Yep, me too. We're here. We're kicking and swinging and screaming, and we got some shit to talk about. We got a lot of shit to talk about this week, as always. One thing that you did with the doc tonight, which I guess I'm excited for, or just appreciative of, but it was a light-ish week in current news. So we brought some stuff that we didn't get to in past weeks up into this doc. And now that I'm looking at the doc this week, we probably have too much. We still won't get to some of it, but that's okay. At least we keep trying to bring up things that feel relevant and or are just so absurd that we have to talk about them. So it's going to be a good show. It's going to be fun.
And that's the key, right? I mean, that's why we do it. That's why that's what we want to do. So yeah, for everybody out there, we don't get to half of the things that are actually on our show doc. It is a lighter doc, but man, I mean, there's still 18 stories to get into, 6-7 different areas of subjects to get into also. It's just been, it's The world's moving at a heightened pace, and we're hyper aware of it. So we want to share it with you.
Amen.
Fitz, what you drinking?
Oh, holy shit. Your timing couldn't be better. I just cracked my beer. And I'll tell you why I just said holy shit, because wow. So this is so first of all, I got my wonderful care package from the Gray's Tap Room. We did a beer exchange. You exchanged with Moose Lounge, and I exchanged with the Grays. And so I just got theirs. Theirs is on the way. It should be there probably Monday. Maybe not till Tuesday, but anyway. Yeah. So I've decided I'm gonna have one of their beers. They sent me 4 beers. I'm gonna have one of their beers for the next 4 shows.
Oh, cool.
That's the kind of self-discipline I'm bringing to this bitch. So I'm gonna have one of theirs and then one of mine. But I'm starting off right away with one of the ones that they sent me, and I know that Tabs really enjoyed this beer, and it's why she sent it to me, because when I saw a picture of it, I was like, "Oh God, that looks good." She posted a picture of it on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh God, that looks good." She said it is good, so she sent it to me. So this is from Against the Grain. It's the name of the brewery, and this is their 70,000. This is a bourbon barrel aged imperial milk stout brewed with natural flavors. This is caramel apple flavor. And
Wow.
when I cracked the beer and I was pouring it, and you asked me what I was drinking, it smells like a fucking caramel apple. Like I'm pouring it into the cup, and that's exactly what I'm getting is caramel apple. So I don't know if it's going to taste like that, but it certainly smells like that. And if it tastes any half as good as it smells, I'm in. I'm a fan of Against the Grain, big time. So let's see what we got.
Yeah, Against the Grain is like it's one of the big boys. That they're a legit heavy hitter. From craft beer world.
Wow. Okay. Nice stout first. It's just a nice black, almost headless stout. Really toasty, really almost a burnt marshmallow flavor up front.
Okay.
And then as you swallow, then my friend, the caramel apple orgy starts. It's on the back of your mouth, and it's like the creamy, jizzy awesomeness that is caramel apple sex is just going down the back of my throat right now. And there's some
Creamy
chocolate
jizzy.
in there too. Creamy jizzy, yeah. I mean, well, because the caramel is kind of jizzy, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
it is now.
Isn't that how you make caramel? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
that's sugar jizz that you're making.
Two apples have sex, and out
Yes.
comes caramel.
Correct.
Anyway, fantastic beer. Oh, this is one of those I'm going to be really sad when it ends, so I might milk this one a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, when you're done with your first beer, we'll move on to the second one, but this one's going to be a treasure here. This is really good. Thank you so much to the Gray's Tap Room. You guys know me well, because whoa, this thing's tremendous.
Gray's Tap Room, you guys can download pretty much everywhere. They've also gotten a Patreon set up. Go to them on Twitter, though, if you're looking to catch up to them. And their Twitter feed is going to be at Gray's Tap Room Pod. You guys can go to their Patreon. It's patreon.com. And just go ahead and look up Gray's Tap Room. And they've got some cool stuff for listeners who want to support their show. We might do something like that in the future. We talked about subscriptions, but I think we're going to be learning from them to see how they do it. So definitely check out Gray's Tap Room, because it's another fine show.
Yep. Excellent show and excellent people. And now I can add in excellent taste in beer. So, wow. So
That's awesome.
what are you taking down over there?
All right. So this one, I still gotta pour it here. I've been one of the things that we don't do before the show is we never know what the other one's drinking, just to make sure that we don't coordinate that at all.
Right.
So as Fitz gets his, I start doing some real quick homework here. So I've been getting the website or getting the show note. Oh, that sounded good. Get the show notes updated, and then I can get into my beer. Holy shit. Okay, so this is, and they're off. This is Derby Pie. This is one of the beers that Moose Lounge sent us. Sent me last week. I didn't want to drink them all. I did have the Dunkel during the week, which was fantastic, and a gorgeous, gorgeous, crisp Dunkel.
Yeah. Well, that's
fantastic beer. But this is Derby Pie. Now, they just had the Kentucky Derby. I think it was last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And Moose Lounge is out of Kentucky.
Yeah, I think
this is
Stowe's Gray's Tap Room. They're out of Louisville, and I think Moose Lounge is somewhere close to there. So
I think they're pretty close to Louisville. This is going to be a blast. Now, this is one of the things that I like about barrel aged beers is when they pour clean, no head.
Yeah.
It's like glass. It's so smooth. This is
That's
an
exactly
11%.
My beer too. Okay.
It's an 11%, and I'm expecting it's a barrel aged milk stout with toasted pecans, cocoa nibs, vanilla, and graham cracker. And it smells boozy, Fitz.
Yeah, this one, mine's a 12.2%er, and I'm not smelling any booze. So that's a difference in our beers right there.
Oh, this is special. Oh, this is special.
Shit, we're getting spoiled tonight, dude.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's got some fire to it. At the very beginning, you get that nice barrel flavor, but the barrel flavor tapers off with, you start getting the vanilla. It smooths it out really nice. It's not super sweet, but this is the kind of beer that puckers in the back of your mouth. It is a mouth-watering barrel-aged beer. Oh, I'd put this against Bourbon County.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is it up in that realm?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so I would use, so for lack of a better example right now, especially the 2019, 2020 bourbon barrel or Bourbon Counties.
Bourbon County, yeah.
It was they had a lot of flavor to it. Really, really, I mean, it screamed, you're getting a lot of bourbon with this.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a damn good beer. This is going to be a challenge tonight. And that's a barrel-aged milk stout. I have never had a milk stout. I've had some barrel-aged milk stouts, but not one that's this damn near perfect. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is, do you know how hard it is to get a milk stout to get to up to 12.2%?
Oh, it's got to be brutal.
I mean, so the work and the sweat and blood and tears, along with the apple jizz that went into this beer is unbelievable.
We are definitely being absolutely. Oh, this is a panty dropper.
Yeah, that's
wow.
A great way to put it.
I am just absolutely salivating ridiculously.
Yeah, I'm
definitely. It's a long, hard kiss.
Hey, now be careful because you're gonna get me all riled up over here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm caramel apple jizz over there. I mean,
I do, and I'm wet in places I didn't know I could get wet, my friend.
Yep. I've got a bruised throat. That's how mine is. How's that for you? Right?
Oh wow, McShane's getting dirty tonight.
Yeah. All right. So
where do we start?
We've got a couple of different polls that we gotta bring up here. One, and we don't have a lot to comment on it because nothing really came out of the whole Tucker Carlson business this week, and we thought something was gonna strike, and then it didn't. So Elon Musk announced that. Well, Tucker announced. Well, let's just go to Tucker for the comments. Can we do that?
Yeah. I thought it was actually, you know what was crazy about this one? The number of views this got within like 2 hours. It was just nuts. Like it outperformed all of the cable news stations put together, and it like multiplied times 4, and he still would have beat him.
It's at 128 million and a half views. Now, I'm pretty sure that if you took every one of the major networks, stick all of mainstream media together and all their viewership this week, I'm pretty sure this clip would have beat it.
I'm sure
all
too.
of them.
I'm sure. Yep.
So let's go and listen to Tucker.
The news is full of lies. But most of the time, that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
So that's straight from Tucker Carlson. You can go to tuckercarlson.com. You can watch that yourself. That's what it is.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
We talked about this last week or the week before, I think, about what do we think is going to end up happening with him. We didn't put a poll out at the time, but I'm kind of glad we didn't, because it's been an interesting week with the poll that we actually put out this week because of this. I was hopeful this was going to be the reaction, but I wasn't betting on it. The question was, what will the new Tucker Carlson show look like on Twitter? So the options were conservative as ever, middle of the road, liberal, or actual journalism. With actual journalism really being impartial. That's my definition. I think that's accurate though, right?
Yep, I would agree.
Conservative as ever was 31.9%. Middle of the road, 15.9%. Liberal, which I knew it was not going to be liberal, 2.9%. Actual journalism came in at 49.3%. I'm pleasantly surprised by that, and I'm still hopeful that that's the same direction that he ends up going.
Yeah, me too. I think all of us, I think really I can speak for everybody. I think we're all sort of going into this cautiously. And I mean, we can hope. And I do actually, I want to say that based on the 2 videos that Tucker has made since he got fired from Fox, he really is sort of calling out the machine and saying, listen, I wanted to talk about some stuff and they wouldn't let me. So that gives me hope that he was out there actually trying to do real journalism, but was trapped in a Fox box. He couldn't get out of that conservative echo chamber. And again, we all kind of got a lesson in that during COVID. You know, we started discovering the algorithms that Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram are that they have running on you so that you see more of what you want to see. So if you're conservative, you're going to see a lot more conservative things coming your way. And if you're not, if you're liberal, you're going to see a lot more of that. And so, you know, McShane has talked a couple of times here on the show about the fact that our Twitter feed, our show's Twitter feed, we're trying to follow just as many conservatives as liberals as middle of the road. We're trying to get the view from everybody all over the place because, as we know, many times the truth lies in the middle. Sometimes it's just black and white, right? I mean, but to Tucker's point, I mean, just this week we had, you know, all of these allegations coming out about the Biden family, and there's crickets from all the major news companies about that. Well, Fox, of course, wanted to plaster it everywhere, but that even disappeared pretty quick. But there are major indictments coming against our politicians, and and if you're not looking in the right places, you'll never even hear about it. And so I'm hoping, my hope is, again, cautious optimism, that he's going to come out firing with both of his like ultimate journalism pistols firing off, that he's just looking for the truth as well as he can understand it. Not opinion, not spin, just these are the facts that we found out. And yeah, he might throw in a word like this is unbelievable or you should be scared, or because that's just how he talks and that's what he's expressing, right? But I'm hoping he stays away from being either liberal or conservative and just focuses on what are the facts and what do we need to know.
I remember back when, I'm going to date myself, but you know, the Tom Brokaws.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Back when 60 Minutes did actual news, Walter Cronkite, for Christ's sake, you got the news, and then you could make your own opinion. That's all we want. And yeah, we even throw some of those. We get a little emotional in here, and you know, we'll throw some. Hey, you need to pay attention to this kind of stuff. Well, we definitely do that sometimes. But at the end of the day, we just want people to think, and I'm hoping that that's the same kind of direction that he goes. It's an exciting time. What if it makes you? It really, you know, I get a little mind boner thinking that maybe mainstream media is actually dying. And
yeah,
that's a neat
me too.
thought.
Yeah, it is. It's also that's a sad statement that thinking people, thinking citizens like yourself, myself, and all of our wonderful listeners that tune in every week, and I mean every one of you, even if you're, you know, punching your phone because of some of the shit we say, you keep tuning in, and we love you for it. But it's sad for all of us to collectively say, you know, mainstream media, go suck a clay dick. Like we don't want you anymore. You're not doing your job anymore, right? That's supposed to be the fourth branch of government, and you're failing. You're being paid off by rich people, and just like our politicians are. So maybe in that way they are just another branch of the government. But you know, go away. We've got this. We'll handle it from here.
Sherry Daniels writes, "Real unfiltered news!" Exclamation points. John Llewellyn, hell yeah, hold both parties to the feet to the fire. What journalists should be doing, and when they start losing market share to shows like Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Bill M. I'm not
Bill
sure.
Maher.
Bill, oh yeah, it's probably Bill Maher. Yep. Perhaps the other media will take notice and change their ways. So thank you to both you Sherry and John. Thank you for the feedback on the poll. So yeah, neat stuff. We need to come up with we need to coin a term for the media revolution, or the citizen journalist. I still like that.
Yeah. The and not to be like, let's not bury the lead here. I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but back in 2013, I believe it was Obama or his people abolished the Smith-Mundt Act.
Oh yeah.
Which basically said that media companies are not allowed to be used as propaganda for the U.S. citizenry. Well, they abolished that act. So what does that tell you is that the media can now be used for propaganda, which we saw clearly during COVID with the vaccines are 100% effective all the way to where we are now that actually there's some pretty nasty side effects and you should probably go talk to your doctor about it. But they are a propaganda machine. And I'm sure by now we've all seen the clip that's been out on TikTok and Instagram and everywhere, where all of these local news stations are verbatim saying the same shit. And whoever spliced this video together did a great job. I mean, they are in sync saying the exact same words at the exact same time. It's insanity. So when you get you get somebody like McShane, like me, I had to say it, Aaron, and now I'm gonna throw him in there, Rogan, Russell Brand, now a Tucker Carlson, who is literally, we are out here rogues researching and doing our own shit, and we're not under those laws. We're not operating, we're not being paid by anybody, which is kind of a shitty thing some weeks, but we're not getting paid by anyone. And so that we're out here doing the best we can to find the truth. And so it's a really interesting time. And if mass media, corporate media, whatever does die, there will be a huge vacuum. And it'll be interesting to see who takes that, who fills that hole.
I'm glad you brought up the Smith. Was it Smith-Mundt or Mundt-Smith? I can't remember.
It was Smith-Mundt, like
Smith-Mundt.
Mundt. Mundt. Yeah.
Okay. We should do a more prepared talk on that. Maybe we'll do that next week. Because that was a scary thing. Why do you reverse that?
Right.
Right. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, that's just. Oh yeah, we should get into that. I would like to get into that maybe next week. We'll throw that on the doc and do a deep dive on it.
I would love that. I would love that. And I also I want a quick apology too, because McShane and I are planning on doing a sort of a deep dive show on AI, and I tried really hard last week not to get into it, and I couldn't help it, and I kind of got into it a little bit, and I gave a bunch of like little tiny teases, it just I didn't even get to second base with you guys, and so I'm sorry if I got you all hot and bothered and you wanted to know more about AI. But anyway, so we're gonna do a deep dive on that too. But I think you're right, McShane. I think the Smith-Mundt Act would be a really fun one to do also, and we do have a Hefe sighting here, which is an incredible thing because no other show I will go on record. No other show has a Hefe.
Except for that Mexican podcast with the guy that runs things.
Yeah, but he's not El Jefe.
Right.
He's not the boss man. So how's it going tonight? What's new?
It's going okay. I actually have a little announcement to make.
Uh-oh.
Tell
Okay.
us.
With your guys' blessing, of course, I would like to do the show with you next weekend.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, my blessing goes without saying, of course.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put one rule on it.
Okay.
One rule, okay? Your first beer, it's whatever you want. Your first beer, you do you, okay? Your second beer, I want you to go out and find a 10% or higher Imperial Stout.
You know what? I could probably help him with this.
I'm sure you could. Now,
Happy likes to help.
yeah. Now this of course assumes that you're A, not around your children, and B, don't have to go anywhere afterwards.
Right.
Right.
I think I can arrange that.
Okay. All right. Because I just think, you know, I just think that'd be a lot. I think the second half of the show would be a lot of fun if that's how it went.
I love this idea. How are you pulling that off?
Yeah.
Well, I told you guys about how I got in trouble here at work, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. That's your sentence?
That's my night. That's my suspension night.
We're really, first of all, we're looking forward to next Saturday. That's going to be badass. We're in mourning, Hefe. The Suns are gone from the playoffs.
Yeah.
God,
They've already
that was
fired
a
their
train
coach.
wreck. Yeah, I really like Monty Williams. I don't think he was probably the best coach
No.
out there, but I like him, and I wanted to see him succeed.
Yeah, he was good for a young team, though. I mean, he's going to get you up the mountain, but not over the top.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need to dump Ayton like a fucking bag of rocks, and yeah, there's some changes that need to be made on that team. The problem is, you know, as we've talked about before, I mean, these guys that are our headliners, Chris Paul and Durant, and they don't have another 3 or 4 seasons in them. You know what I mean?
No.
And so what? A new coach comes in and they just gel as a team perfectly next year? No.
You never know. I mean, it's happened before, but yeah, I mean, is Paul coming back? He might be. He's getting up there.
He's got an option, and I think it's a team option for $30 million. So I don't know who they're going to bring in otherwise. So they're going to probably end up having to bring him in, which is going to chew up their salary cap. They're going to have to move Ayton.
Oh God, yeah. Please move Ayton. You know, all of this talk about options and contracts and stuff leads me to I've been meaning to talk to you guys about my contract here with the show.
Okay.
I'd like my agent would like me to respectfully request a renegotiation.
All right. You want to do that now?
No, we don't have to do it on air. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I need a raise.
I think we
should.
Saying. Open and honest. Let's do it on the show.
Well, the problem is, you know, the pot that we're all splitting is so small.
Yeah, we're just wrapping it back up into the show at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna more talk about percentages.
Okay.
I would like my very generous 5% to go up to 10%. I want double.
All right. Wow. We're gonna bump you up to 10% then.
You're fucking taking 5%.
Yep. Hefe, you're gonna go down to 1%. I'm sorry to tell you that.
From 1.5 to 1, huh?
Yes, and I'm gonna take. I'll go ahead and I'll eat the other 4.5.
Bet you will.
Yep. And there goes our advertising budget. That's okay.
Yep, and that's it. That's all she wrote. No, I mean, it just struck me as like he has a, you know, you said McShane, he has a team option, and it's like $30 million,
right?
That he could. God damn, the amount of money these people are making is just it's obscene.
Yep. And he's 37. He played 46 games this year. He's broken half the time.
Yeah. Yep.
For 30 million, dude, I could be broken half the time for 30 million.
Yes, I'm all in.
I'm all in. I'll weekend warrior the shit out of that. Yeah, it's just nuts to me. We're so upside down in this world, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox or anything, but is this really where? I mean, do you know how many years let's say a 4th grade teacher would have to work to make $30 million?
Oh, dude, we went over this. Remember with LeBron?
Yeah, yes, we did. You're right.
What he makes in one night, one game, is the equivalent of like a school teacher over 9 years or something like that. It's hard to wrap your head around. But it's just it's what the market will bear, kind of thing. It's all the money they bring in from advertising, and I was talking to one of my bosses about this. These 4 series, they all went at least 6 games, and he goes, why wouldn't they stretch them out as far
Of
as
course.
all the money they make on every game with the advertising and fans and all that, the ticket buyer. I mean, and they'll throw in, I don't know, conspiracy theorists and all that, but it just makes sense. And then they'll throw in a 4-1 or a 4-game sweep here and there just to make it look good, But
To make us, yeah, yep.
I don't know. It's all business.
That's why I do appreciate the NFL. I mean, it's like you show up, you play your game, and there's a winner and a loser.
Right.
And the loser goes home, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I do like that but yeah, you're right. I mean, they make more money the longer those series get dragged out.
Yep. Did you guys go over the NFL schedule?
No, I haven't. Well, I looked at the Cardinals schedule and I kind of wanted to cry anyway. I picked them to go for 17.
I picked them 3-14 with a 3-game winning streak in the middle of the season. I thought you guys would lead the show off with that, but no, you led off with the Brittany Griner thing.
Yeah, that's right.
God.
That's right. We had to talk about Brittany Griner and her big hairy balls.
Oh, standing ovation. Okay, I guess they're saying, I mean, a standing ovation to say, hey, way to survive over there.
Yeah, welcome back. Maybe
way to get arrested. That's how I took it.
Yeah, good job. Good job carrying something illegal into another country, you moron. But yeah, I saw that last night on TV at work, and I was like, oh God, I got to tell the guys about this, and forgot about it. And I remember today and dug up at that article. But yeah, I was like, standing ovation, and they said they're going to be the Wyclef Jean is going to sing it at her first game back. Like, what are we doing?
She's a liberal folk hero, man. She went and committed a crime in another country, stood up to the man, did her time, got the president of the United States involved to get her dumb ass back to the States. And so she's a folk hero for them.
Got a murderer released on the world. That was nice.
That's right.
Yep.
That was part of that deal. That's right. We talked about that on the show.
Imagine that. Like, I want to get out here so bad. And finally he gets out. Like, you traded me for who? What?
A basketball player?
Like LeBron James?
No. Right. No. It's no one you ever heard of. No one you ever heard of.
He deals arms. Yeah, it's fine.
God, what a clusterfuck that was. That's a little discussed fuck up by the Biden administration. I mean, there's been so many. That was a pretty big one. That was pretty bad.
Oh, it was massive. It was an intelligence nightmare.
Yeah, right.
How many people died to bag him in the first place, right? How much time and effort went into that?
I got to get in.
All right. Later.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Enjoy some WNBA games.
Yeah, I think I'm mucking, so it'll probably be an hour.
All right.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Father Mucker.
Yes, sir.
All right, see ya.
Later. Speaking of the FBI, and I know this is way down on our list of stuff to talk about, but it just segues nicely. There was apparently, supposedly, allegedly a rally today at the U.S. Capitol.
It was so yes.
It was so bad, dude. No, go ahead, because it was so bad.
It was absurd. So
I mean, if these guys don't look like FBI fucking spooks, I don't know. I don't know who does. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So about 150 to 200 individuals with white masks and sunglasses. Everybody was in character. We have suspenders on some of them. We have khakis. Everybody's in a blue shirt.
Where'd they get the cool shields? They all have shields.
I don't know, but they're kind of Captain America-ish, right?
Yep, they are. I love the biker cops as escorts.
Oh God, it could not get any more ridiculous. So here's these guys, right? Everybody's got it. Looks like we even have different flags. We've got American flags upside down, which typically means America's in trouble, right? Or
Yep.
it's in peril.
Country in distress. Yep.
Yeah. That's it. Country in distress. God, they need to work on their shields. But
They really do.
But it looks like it's they're called the Patriot Front.
Yeah.
And they're recognized as a right-wing organization. And they look like 150 to 200 FBI agents.
Yep.
It looks so rigged. And we've seen these guys before.
Yeah, we've seen these guys before. And you know what's crazy to me? And maybe, listen, I at this point, we as Whiskey Hell, we are willing to entertain just about any theory out there. But it is odd to me that if you want us to believe these are just your average Americans, there's not one fat guy in that whole group. Not one.
Okay, I went there too.
Every one of them's fit. Every one of them's fit.
Every one of them.
Immediately, yeah. Immediately you go, okay, fucking government spook. Because unless, working out is like part of their, you have, in order to be a part of their group, their membership includes, a gym membership or something. I don't know. Or, you have to eat so many grams of protein I don't know. But every single one of those guys was in shape, ready to go. Those aren't regular average Joe Americans. We know that.
No. And no, I'm on the Anti-Defamation League website, the ADL.org. You guys can go there. Patriot Front is a white supremacist group whose members maintain that their ancestors conquered America and bequeathed it to them and no one else. Patriot Front justifies its ideology of hate and intolerance under the guise of preserving the ethnic and cultural origins of its members' European ancestors. Patriot Front spreads its hateful propaganda via the internet and by disturbing banners, flyers, posters, and stickers. This goes on, but
yeah,
I don't buy it. And I maybe they are horrible. I guess. Okay, I can't. But these guys, they're a bunch of Chads, right?
Yep.
And they're a bunch of bros here, and they all look like. I swear, some of these guys are wearing Kevlar.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that too. Some of them under those shirts, you can tell they've got a vest on. It sounds like they need to do a group 23andMe. Because I think we've all seen those videos where like the whitest white supremacist dude finds out that he's like 28% African American or 28% African and like 7% Native American, and like these guys need a mass 23andMe to find out, like, you guys, if this is truly what this group stands for.
It's very suspect. Come
on. The whole thing just looks, well, obviously it was staged, but it looks like professionally staged. It's not, this isn't a ragtag group of dudes who were like, hey, I have this Saturday off. You want to go rally at the Capitol? Sure.
It looks like hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and close shop early at the bureau and go ahead and throw your white masks on and the blue shirts we gave you last week, the shelters, right, and feed the homeless. Let's go ahead and throw those shirts on, guys. It's fucking stupid.
I loved your comment that it was just a bunch of cosplayers, and then who fucking hit it like out of the park. I don't know if you guys follow the U.S. Ministry of Truth on Twitter, but whoever this dude is running, or person, I don't know that's a dude, but whoever this person is running this account, he's got some really funny stuff. But he tweeted today, sorry, the FBI is unavailable to respond to the Patriot Front protest at the U.S. Capitol. All field agents are preoccupied. I thought that was a brilliant way to handle that.
He nailed it. He absolutely nailed it.
So good. God damn. Yikes.
So you guys can see some of this content on Raw Alerts. We'll have a nice thread in here. And you know what? Protest all you want. I'm just saying what this is. This is what it looks like. Yeah, it looks like they're just out there stirring up trouble. And it looks, they do look like cosplayers. I mean, just fucking stupid.
Either that or like Best Buy employees.
They could be Best Buy employees. Yeah.
Yeah, like the khaki pants and the blue shirt.
It is.
Oh God,
It
what is this
totally
world
is.
coming to, man?
I
I don't
don't
answer
know.
that because I know you don't have an answer. Anyway, I'm sorry we jumped all the way down to the bottom of the dock, but it just seemed to feed in because we were talking about the FBI, and that was just such an absurd, weird thing to have happen.
No, I think that's one of those things that a lot of people are gonna miss because, well, it just looks like a regular protest. Not really.
No, nope.
It's kind of suspect. Hey, have you gotten your subscription yet to the illegal entrance coming into the country? Because you guys should be getting a truckload soon. A busload, excuse me. I shouldn't say truckload.
I've not seen anything, and I was actually watching it kind of closely because Eugene, Oregon was one of Abbott's targets. But Texas is I think it's a couple day drive from here. So they'll probably be arriving tomorrow. But no, we haven't got our monthly subscription to illegals.com yet.
So we found out this week that Kamala Harris is actually the border czar. That was neat.
Yeah, it used to be in government, like if you were the czar of something, then that's what you were. You were the czar of something.
Right.
Right? But she's the czar of the border. She's the AI czar. And apparently also the vice president. But anytime I've ever seen her, she can't put together one cogent thought. One.
No.
She'll do a 20-minute speech and I'll have no idea what she said. So how is she the czar of like basically two of the most important things we have going on right now, right here, besides maybe the Ukraine war, which is our border security and AI. Yeah. I mean, yikes. Anyway, are you going to play this clip by,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's Karen.
Once again. Yep. Best gaslighter out there.
Should the vice president be involved in today's meeting since she'll be here in the country while the president is away?
So the president has been closely consulting with the vice president on this. They have had several conversations on this issue. And so again, when it comes to issues that matter to the American people, they're very much partners.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
wow.
What
They're
about
very
the
much
matters
partners.
that don't matter to the people? Are they still like partners or no?
No, only for things that matter to the American people.
Right.
All she said there, basically, I mean, the reason that I'm so scared now after hearing that is because you're asking someone who's arguably mildly mentally retarded to lead around a geriatric old white guy who's so out of touch with the American people that we know all of his gas, all the ridiculous things that he said. She's leading him around, or maybe he's leading her around. I don't know, but those are our leaders. That's who we have to look to for guidance, for calm, for some actual wisdom in what's happening. And I'm sorry, I have zero faith in our government right now.
Hey,
If that's the best we have to offer.
I think you need to be more fair. Listen to Kamala here.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
I think it's very clear that she's in total control.
Coconut tree. Oh God.
How? Please look at this online. She was so drunk.
Oh, it's awkward. It's so painfully awkward. It's. I mean, the way she's holding her arms out like that, like she's trying to get people. And who are these idiots that are laughing at this? Where
you
is
notice
she?
she didn't get many laughs. Somebody must have not had the laugh machine on. The laugh track did not go as expected.
The little applause machine that they used to have in the old game shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's listen to it again.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Nope.
You know
That's
what?
your borders
I keep thinking if she keeps talking, she's gonna make sense at some point.
It never happens.
And and I'm still waiting. I had to stop holding my breath like 2 years ago.
It never happens. 8,700 illegal aliens, immigrants, refugees, whatever the government's calling them at this point, come into the United States every day.
Yeah, and actually this last week it was 10,000 a day they were averaging. The Border Patrol said it was 10,000 a day. And I thought it was interesting too. This isn't on the doc, but I don't know if you caught this. The one of the heads of Border Patrol basically came out and said that President Joe Biden is a traitor to this country for what he's doing to all of his troopers, to all the Border Patrol guys. He said he's a international international crime lord or something like that, and that he's a traitor to his nation. I was like, oh damn, you're gonna be in an outpost in Alaska here if you keep talking like that, dude. But he's had enough. He's done.
Have you followed the U.S. the Border Patrol Union?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna throw this into our chat, and I'll add this to the doc so other viewers can or listeners can take a listen to that. This is the union for the U.S. Border Patrol, and they are outspoken. And the first thing I had to think of, are these guys legit? No, they seem to be legit.
Yeah, it's a weird combination of people who join the Border Patrol, because you got some ex-military, some retired policemen, some guys that are like good enough to be a little bit better than a mall cop. So you got that whole group, but they're all, and then you have some of the wackos that just want to patrol the border and shoot brown people. You got those wackos that make it in. And it's just a weird mix of people that are part of the Border Patrol. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, well, long story, but my ex's parents live down in Sierra Vista, and there's a huge Border Patrol down there. There's a big contingent. That's where a lot of them who are in Arizona, that's where they reside. So I've talked to a lot of those guys. And first of all, number one, they're like basically to a man, they are all Republican. They all drive Chevys and Fords, and they just are very against anybody from any country coming here, basically.
Right.
I mean, that's their politics, and so you just go, whoa. But I guess that's who you want on your border. I don't know.
So, and just to kind of be clear, I'm a little cavalier about it. I am fine with there being a immigration policy. I'm not against people coming in, being here, working, finding a better life. I am against them coming in and just sneaking in and taking away resources from everybody else, though. So
and or committing crimes.
Exactly. Yes, for sure that. If you're not going to have policies in place that are going to try and control that and force people to follow some kind of rules, to establish a citizenship here, right? Or establish at least some kind of make sure that you've got your green card, make sure you go through all the steps to become as close to a citizen as possible, a contributing part of society, right? Not somebody who's going to leech off of us.
Right.
then I'm fine with having that kind of, I'm fine with having an immigration policy like that. But the stuff that happened this week, you're right. It skyrocketed from 5,000 in April and March up to they're arresting 10,000 people a day the last 4 days before Title 42 closed.
Yikes.
Or was repealed.
Yikes.
It's scary stuff. And I'm in Arizona. I'm pretty far away from the border, more or less. But not that far.
Yeah. I mean, they're filtering up into Phoenix.
Yeah. It's just, and then you've got, and you can't argue, you can't dismiss the fact that these aren't conservatives coming into the country. They're Democrats.
You're not allowed to say that,
president.
McShane. You are not allowed to say that.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that was wrong.
No, it's true. It's true. But are they gonna? Yeah. Then that takes us to our voting process.
Yes.
And our elections even?
Yep.
Are they even legitimate? And I where I stand on that, because I've felt disenfranchised since I was allowed to vote.
Yep.
So I'm worse now. That was 30 years ago.
What's the best way to flip Texas and Arizona?
Yeah. You bet. 10,000 people a day ought to do it.
Hey, what did you send your email to Biden about asking for air fees to be fixed? I
did not. But I also
somebody sent something.
Yeah, because they sure did. This one seemed out of place, didn't it?
It doesn't make any sense. Who gives a shit?
I mean, this should be a customer to company problem.
Yes.
This isn't like a utility company.
No.
Or someone that's, I mean, they are government regulated, I guess, on some degree, the airlines we're talking about. But not to this level. This seems like if you have a problem with your airline because they keep fucking up, I'm talking to you, Southwest Airlines, then take it up with their management. Why is this a presidential policy problem?
It's more socialist bullshit. That's what it is. Because in a case like this, it's in a free market. As a consumer, I'm not going to go with Southwest Airlines because it's a pile of shit. It's a fucking flying bus. They're not on time. They've got major issues. Why would I deal with them then? Let them lose. But don't put the screws to them, because the only person that's going to get fucked is going to be everybody else who's trying to fly on American or United or Delta or any of the other airlines. We're going to get the prices jacked up to account for the meals, the hotels, the taxis, and the cash and the miles that they're expecting and all the vouchers. A good company handles that. A good company acknowledges, you know what? We fucked up. We didn't have our plane for you. Here's your hotel. We're going to get you on the next flight tomorrow morning. That's what a good company does. If a company's shitty like Southwest is, they should die.
Yep. I agree. And you're right. It'll be a 15%, governmental mandated surcharge that all airlines have to add to all tickets on all flights, because they might fuck up, and then they'll have to pay for your hotel. But you bet your ass this isn't going to come out of the airline's bottom line.
No.
Hell no.
No.
I mean,
no way.
If jet fuel prices rise, guess what? They don't eat that. They just make the tickets more expensive.
Yep. And it doesn't mean they're going to get better. They're just going to say, all right, well, here's your lousy Motel 6 stay.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep.
But that's okay, because Biden's green energy crackdown on washing machines will hurt the poorest Americans.
Washing machines.
Industry insiders are knocking new efficiency standards for washing machines proposed by President Joe Biden's Energy Department last month. Industry giants like Whirlpool warned that the mandates would force washing machine manufacturers to reduce the cleaning performance of the machines. The new regulations could also make washing machines more expensive by taking cheaper models off the market that don't abide by the new standards. Thank you, EPA.
I really don't have a comment here because in 200 years ago there weren't washing machines. Everything was done by hand. Everybody had a washing board, and you went out once a week or twice a week and you did your wash in the bucket. We are so spoiled now. We are in such a state of opulence in Western culture. But the fact is we're in this state now, and you can't just shove this down people's throats all in one fell swoop and expect people to just be okay with it. Because recently we've had the war on gas stoves, right? Those can't be anymore. We had the war on appliances now, the war on airlines. What else? Oh, the war on gas burning vehicles. That was the first one, which California has already overreacted to. And now everybody's jumping on that bandwagon in California. But oh, by the way, with this heat wave that we have going on, can you please not charge your car this week? That's my favorite. Yep. We want everyone driving electric, but please don't charge them this week because we have a heat wave coming. The whole thing, where did common sense go? I had this discussion with a friend of mine this week that common sense, we always used to joke about it, like common sense just isn't common anymore. It's the truth actually now. Yeah. Common sense is gone. Where did it go?
I don't know. I don't know. There isn't any, but it's in the hands of people we trust. We need to feel secure, and the people that we trust with that security are so perverse and so misguided and so rigged that common sense never even comes to the table. People suspended thinking for blindly following this crap. And that's our biggest problem.
I think you're onto something there. I think common sense got bought out, right? I think it went the way of money, and so money made more sense than common sense did. And then if the money made sense, well, then it's easy enough to brainwash the public. I mean, clearly, because media can do propaganda now, plus all the commercials you get, plus brought to you by Pfizer. I mean, how many times did we joke about that on the show?
Yep.
I think you just nailed it right there, dude. You got it. It was about the money, follow the money, and then once the money makes sense, then you just convince the masses to follow the asshole in front of them. Just eyes front, stare forward, look at that little one-eyed Jack, and go.
Let's get our second beer.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So just how did yours finish? How did it warm up? How did it?
It may be a perfect beer.
Did it finish in your mouth?
It did. I swallowed.
Yeah, good boy. Good boy.
There was a no doubter.
No, I'll tell you my second beer here. It's going to be really hard to top this. I'm not sure
awesome.
where to go from this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at the beers in my fridge going, okay, what's going to even rival this? Just a tremendous beer. And I shit you not, dude. Somehow they got that caramel apple flavor into a stout, and it's not weird. No, it's not weird. You think apple in a stout? What? It's in there, and it's not weird. It's like, I mean, you wake up and there's two other people in your bed, and one of them's a dude, and for whatever reason you're okay with it. It's not weird.
I was going to ask you about extracts and stuff like that, and yeah, you took care of that. All right. It's time for beer 2.
Awesome.
All right, so beer 2. First of all, the first beer, Moose Lounge, you guys fucking killed it. I mean, that was an amazing, amazing beer. So I'm gonna have a hell of a time trying to find a beer here it's gonna be able to challenge it. Fortunately, when I was out today, I got something it's gonna be this is either gonna be a train wreck or it's gonna be fucking cool.
All right.
So I have an Imperial Stout. It's from Weathered Souls Brewing in San Antonio, Texas. Name is Bake Sale. It is a chocolate chip cookie stout. It's 11.8%.
Oh shit.
So,
all right.
My thought process here was that I was
bigger
going to have well, yeah, especially since the first one was 11 and it's hit me right across the face. But my thought process was the first one was a decadent dessert beer, right? And this one is going to be about the same in, I guess, in the features of it, right? Not in the taste, probably. It's not bourbon barreled, but I'm expecting a dessert beer, which that's usually not my MO. Both of those are dessert beers.
Right.
Like that last one, I'd term it that's an end of the night beer. That's the last one I'm having.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know. It's got chocolate chip cookies all over the can. It's supposed to have Imperial Stout with cookie dough, chocolate chips, and brown sugar. It's supposed to be a chocolate chip cookie. So let's go ahead and give it a run.
Oh yeah.
It's not a good chocolate chip cookie then. Oh shit. Oh fuck me. You ever had the Imperial Stouts they're just an Imperial Stout? It's super boozy and it has the stout features, but there's nothing else that goes along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes those are my favorite.
And that's cool. But not when I cleanse my palate. I know it's not me. This beer does not taste like chocolate chip cookies. It doesn't. It's a stout. It's going to be super boozy. It doesn't have the boozy features, right? But I know this is going to be hot. At the end of the night, I'm gonna be gooned. I'm gonna be gooned. Period. But this is just not pay off. None of the features that it says, it just doesn't. And this is an $8 beer. I don't know. We'll see how it warms up. Maybe it gets better. It's a stout. I would still take like a Dragon's Milk over it. I would still take any of the Blair Corn Unidragons from Clown Shoes, any of the dark stuff from Clown Shoes, Yetis, all those kinds. I would totally take those over this. Yeah. Right off the bat, I know that. So we'll have to see how it warms up and see if there's anything else that's catches me. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean you're talking about some big hitters right there too, though. So,
but this is the league they're playing in with this beer.
Yeah, exactly. That's if you're gonna enter into the league, you got to be prepared to take the hits.
It's heavy alcohol. It's in fact it's an alcohol taste, not like a burn. It has more of a like. It tastes like alcohol, like a vodka or something.
I was just gonna say you dumped a shot of vodka into a. Well, I went way very opposite of what my last beer was. Again, that last beer was so good. That Grains of Wrath was just super well done beer. I mean, start to finish. So I thought, well, I can't grab another stout to challenge that one. I've got a brown in there that I'm not really in the mood for. And then this little guy was in the back saying, pick me. And so I did. So this is from Commonwealth Brewing, which is all the way from Virginia. So I had a Louisville beer, which is in Kentucky. And for those of you who don't know your geography, Kentucky actually borders with Virginia for a little bit there. And so we're just going a little further east. Virginia is known as the Commonwealth of Virginia officially. So Commonwealth Brewing from Virginia. This is called Vina. This is a Goza style ale with cinnamon, cherry, orange, and black sea salt. Now, I don't know what makes the sea salt black or why, or maybe it's from the Black Sea. I'm not asking questions here. I'm not that kind of a guy. I don't see color, right? So it's just sea salt. How about that? But the cinnamon, cherry, and orange really intrigued me. Plus the fact I love Gozas, especially this time of year. We've the last 3 days here have just been. I mean, it's Oregon spring, summer right now. We've been in the 70s, 80s, and it's just gorgeous. I found it comical. They said there's a heat advisory for tomorrow. It's going to be like 95. I'm like, you don't know heat advisories. You haven't spent a summer in Phoenix, but anyway. So let's give this beer a run. I'm kind of excited because, like you said, I also cleaned my palate, and I cleaned it. I cleansed it. I didn't clean it. That would be weird. Have to put like a dick brush on my tongue or something. But I don't even know what a dick brush is.
Well, we're going to explore that later.
There you go. That's it. Vecna. I said Vina. It's Vecna.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. It looks like the way it's written on the can. See how it looks like Vina?
Yeah.
But it's Vecna. Vecna is wow. Okay, that makes sense now that I'm seeing the skeleton and everything. Vecna is like a demon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what I'm getting myself into. It's only 7.5% though, so hopefully we're good to go. Let's see.
So Goes is it's a salt beer, right? It's a little bit more kind of margarita-ish, honestly. That's been my experience with it, but this one should be pretty interesting with the cinnamon, the cherry, and the orange.
You know what I'm getting right off the bat, which is interesting because, well, I'll just say it first and then I'll kind of explain. I'm getting like a grapefruit soda, like a squirt.
Really?
Yes. Grapefruit soda. And I've always described grapefruit when people are like, what does a grapefruit taste like? Because they haven't had it. I'm like, well, it's kind of like orange and cherry together, but only more tart. And this beer is orange, tart cherry, and cinnamon. And so with the salt in there. And so, yeah, it's like a grapefruit beer, but there's a sweetness to it. There's a calmness to it. Really well done. I'm very impressed by this beer.
You got some challengers tonight.
I do. I really do, because this is now, we had the caramel apple excitement and orgy in my mouth. This is like you go out and have a picnic out in the fields, and there's fruit trees, and there's bees, and there's flowers, and you're talking for a bit, and then one thing leads to another, and you're bumping uglies.
Right.
Yep. I am bumping uglies with this beer. All of a sudden, it just like skipped over second and third base, and we're in full penetration here.
It's like you just suddenly stuck it in, and there you are. You had no idea it was even going in.
Suddenly, sex. That's suddenly what they should have called this beer. Suddenly.
You know what? Suddenly sex. That might be the name of the show. We'll see.
Wow. But in all seriousness, dude, really, really well done beer. With the cinnamon in there, I thought, I don't know. I'm impressed. Very well done. Good job, Vecna. Or good job, Commonwealth.
So one of the things that we always have a problem with as far as cinnamon goes, is it a bitter cinnamon, or is it like more of a red hot, or is it more?
It's more of a red hot. It's more of a red hot, and it's really subtle. It is fascinating.
So
it's way subtle.
That's CommonwealthBrewingCompany.com. You guys can go ahead and check them out. They're a really, really good brewer. I wish we got them out here. They're another big one. You've had some really heavy, like major breweries. That's fucking cool. Yeah. That you're back to back on those. So I got one question for you. Is this, because it's a Goes, is it a quenching beer, or is it more of a wild session beer?
Honestly, dude, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, that's okay.
It's kind of both. It's very quenching. It's very you were talking about your mouth watering in that first beer. My mouth is watering. I'm anticipating the next sip,
Mhm.
But it's also there's a savory aspect to it that I'm like I don't want to. I put it in my mouth. I don't want to swallow right away. I want to let it kind of
Wow.
slosh around in there, and I want to get all the notes. It's complex, so you could absolutely just gun this beer, just shotgun it, and shoot it on a hot summer day, and you'd be a happy person.
Yeah.
But I feel like it deserves more respect than that, which is why I set the scene out in the grassy. My intentions were pure. We were going to go have a picnic.
And suddenly you had sex.
She wore the sundress with no panties. It's not on me.
I hate it when that happens.
Right? It's not on me. That's not my fault that penetration is happening, and it's delicious. And I want more of it.
Here's my penis.
Oh, so good. Anyway, sounds like this might be one of our more diverse nights as far as brewers and styles of beer. I mean, we 3 Imperials, but they're all very different on in very different takes on the Imperial. So,
no, absolutely.
And then this thing, crazy.
Hey, I got a clip I want to play for you. Can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
I had conversation with a scientist who didn't buy into that Epstein stuff and wouldn't go to the meetings and stuff like that. And he said that he was really shocked at how little money he actually donated.
Interesting.
Yeah, he goes, it wasn't that much money. He goes, it was really like he was more than that. He was bringing them to parties. Like it was an intelligence operation. Whoever was running it, whether it was the Mossad or whether it was the CIA or whether it was a combination of both, it was an intelligence operation. They were bringing in people and compromising them. And then when they would compromise them, they would use, whatever they had on them to influence their opinions and the way they expressed those opinions. Here it says, Epstein regularly visited, had card key access to, and was provided a designated office space within the program in evolutionary dynamics until 2018. So that means they gave him that at Harvard after he had been arrested for fucking underage girls.
Had an office.
Yeah. Wow. Granting him that level of access raises serious questions about the compliance with Harvard's policies, and beginning in 2017 about whether or not the Professor Nowak acted in deliberate circumvention of Harvard's security procedures. So he was arrested and he'd already did time by then, which is crazy.
It's also like, at first I was like, oh God, he was on campus with all these like girls. How scary, but they were probably too old for him.
So look at this here. Harvard University said Friday that convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein donated more than $9 million to the university over the course of a decade and had an office on campus after his 2006 arrest.
Nope.
So he was arrested in 2006. And then after that, up until 2018, still had an office there. That is wild. But here's the thing. Whatever he was doing, and I don't know why he was doing it, and no one knows now that he's dead, but he had a lot of scientists that he was tight with. And that was one of the things that he did, was bring these scientists to that island. And he would have young girls on that island. But, what's the end goal there?
Well, Fitz, what's the end goal there?
Well, I mean, you certainly start to have a perspective. God damn it. All right. Here we go. I'm putting on my tin hat. So all of you who don't subscribe to this kind of thing, you can just say, well, Fitz, it's fucking crazy. But you hear something like that, and you do have to wonder then, you do have to connect the dots and say, well, no wonder it was so easy for them to get a quote unquote consensus, as Neil deGrasse Tyson put it, on COVID vaccines being good for you. And no wonder it's so easy for them to get a consensus on something like, I don't know, climate change. And or that, carbon dioxide is causing climate change. Because I'm not here to argue that climate change, that climate isn't changing. It is. I'm just saying that our contribution to it is like 2%. It's not the the major catastrophe that the politicians want you to believe. So you start to wonder, like, okay, if you were like, let's say you saw big picture kind of stuff back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and you were like, hey, we can put these policies into place, but unless we're backed up by the scientific community finding, scientific information and running these trials or running these experiments, then, we're going to be called frauds. And so we need to get these scientists in our pockets. And how else would you corrupt a scientist? And again, I'm spitballing here, and I'm also going to paint with a very wide brush, but generally people who dedicate themselves to science and to learning and academia are not the guys out there who are getting laid 5 times a week. They're just not. So you get these guys to a secluded place away from their wives, if they even have one, away from their clinics and their labs, and you expose them to these young, beautiful women, and you film it without them knowing. Well, when that next grant comes around, it'd be really great if you applied for this grant that's going to further the discussion or further the proof that humans are causing climate change. I'm just spitballing. I'm just saying that is one possible scenario that could play out that really, to me, isn't much of a stretch.
Are you implying that somebody would create a honey trap to prey on human beings' carnal needs? Oh my gosh. However could we do that? Fuck. That's what it looks like.
It does. It really does.
It stinks of it.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Rogan said, it was a fucking CIA op. It was an op.
It screams that it was an op. It screams that it was an op. It truly does.
Yes. All these other ops that, we were told that, MK Ultra, and I mean, you just go down the line, and they no, that's bullshit. That's just conspiracy theory. And now we're here today in 2023, and we know that those things actually happened. They actually went on. And so why would this not be the same? Why? Crazy shit,
Noam
man.
Chomsky.
Crazy. Yeah. God damn it, dude. I've read a couple of his books, and I really like his books.
Yeah. Like, smart dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently he was a big fan. He was a regular. George Church, evolutionary biologist. Let's see. There's this is the Guardian article. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that. It reeked. It reeked of scientists.
It did.
The other thing that came out of this was how much Epstein wanted to seed the human race with his DNA. He was trying to impregnate 20 chicks every time he was at his island.
Yeah, there is a real and the Guardian here in this article just comes right out and says eugenics. I mean, it really puts it into that. And if you're not familiar with what eugenics is, it's basically, controlling the population through breeding. You breed out any genetic abnormality. So if you want to breed out race, if you want to breed out mental retardation, if you want to breed out Down syndrome, if you want to breed out autism, whatever, you find healthy people to impregnate other healthy people, and all the other people are either literally castrated or just ostracized from society and aren't allowed to breed or don't ever get to breed. And then you're left with this. And that was kind of Hitler's grand plan, right? The Aryan race.
I was just going to say, that sounds kind of Nazi-like, right?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, that was Hitler's thing. Mein Kampf is all about eugenics and breeding the Aryan race. And so here you have Epstein in the modern day. I mean, this motherfucker wasn't killed until what, 19? So this stuff was going on fairly recently, where he literally was trying to breed out what I forget what the article called it, or that he was trying to breed in superior genetics, his genetics, superior genetics.
Well, so what if part of this also too, because we're speculating here, we're spitballing like you said.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
You take the smartest individuals, right? Your scientists, and you take them to your little island, and you let them go ahead and go to town on, these the women that were trafficked. Let's call it what it is.
Yep.
What a great way to make sure that the DNA, the intelligence is passed on.
Yeah. And also, you got these scientists in your pocket now.
Yeah.
Blackmail. You want your wife to figure out or to know that you knocked up this 16-year-old?
No. I'll
Better
do whatever
keep your
you
shit
want.
in line, bro.
Yeah, COVID's a terrible thing. Watch out for monkeypox.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. We're all going to die. We're going to be enveloped by water from glaciers by 2005.
Yep. Well, I remember Al Gore said by the year 2010.
That's what it was. It was 2010.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
That all the glaciers were going to be melted and that New York City was going to be 4 feet underwater. Sea level has risen anywhere from 15 to 20 centimeters in the last 80 years. Centimeters, guys. The tides change by feet. Just the changing of the tides is feet. Anyway, not to hit on the global warming thing, but Epstein, and it was weird. Rogan said something there that was interesting to me, that scientist said it wasn't that much money. It really wasn't. I mean, he was giving away 50,000, 20,000 here, 70,000 to this, maybe 100,000. It was small sums of money. So you think, well, these scientists are getting $1 million grants. So why are they so wrapped up with this guy for 50 grand? Well, now we you start putting it together. You go, oh, because he had something on them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really enjoyed this article from The Guardian. You guys can find it in our show notes. We don't have to pound it out because it's a poor choice of terms.
I'm pounding it out.
Before we go. Epstein's lifestyle has been well documented. He owned a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, blah, 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 blah. Rich and powerful men went there, including the Clintons. We knew that. Trump knew that too. Woody Allen, yeah, of course. Larry Bird? Larry fucking Bird?
Not cool, Larry.
What are you getting out of that? Or are you just like,
man,
what? I really thought you were a great basketball player here. Come bang some.
Well, and I guess
a
few stories have come out like that too. Like I went there once, and I didn't really know what I was getting to. As soon as I saw what it was about, I was the fuck out of there. Like there's been a few of those stories. So, I guess that lets all of us off the hook. Like I'm a fan of Larry Bird's, as a player. And so I don't want to believe that he was capable of this kind of shit. Although, he's kind of your typical alpha male. He was a fucking assassin on the basketball court. For any of you who think LeBron James is up there in the running with Michael Jordan, go look up Bird's career. Go look up his highlights.
Larry Bird was sick.
He's in that conversation, and don't kid yourself. So he was a fucking assassin on the court, and I was a huge fan of his. And so you don't want to believe these things about the Noam Chomskys, the Larry Birds. I want to believe it about the Clintons because fuck those guys.
Yeah. You expect it from a Trump, right? You expect
totally.
that Obama hung out with them. You expect those guys that did it, but then you get like Larry fucking Bird? Really?
No, it's random.
Okay, Prince Andrew, you're kind of rapey. Okay, I get it. That doesn't really surprise me, but Larry fucking Bird, you corn-fed fucking, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't either. I don't know.
Hey,
man.
Elon's got a new CEO.
Yeah. This is another story that really Elon. I am pulling for you, bro. I am pulling for you. What happened? Like I want to have a massive 12-hour long hard on for Elon Musk all day, every day. I want to wake up and be like, fucking Elon, let's stick it in somebody. And then he goes and does something like this, and I just go big and rubbery. Like,
what are you doing? What are you doing? I want to do something here that's a little bit different. There is a program that I use. It's called Speechify, and I'll explain it later in the show. But I want to go ahead and use that now and see what you guys think of it. This is Speechify's 2-minute listen from CNN. Elon Musk says he's found a new CEO.
Elon Musk says he's found a new CEO for Twitter. Hear what Twitter owner Elon Musk thinks about a potential U.S. ban of TikTok. New York CNN. Elon Musk on Thursday said he's found a new CEO to take over Twitter, months after he first promised to step back from the role. The new CEO will assume the role at Twitter Incorporated, which recently changed its name to X Corp, in the coming weeks, Musk said. He did not provide a name. However, the Wall Street Journal reported, citing sources, that Linda Yaccarino, Universal's head of advertising, was in talks for the job. Excited to announce that I've a new CEO for X/Twitter. She will be starting in 6 weeks, Musk said in a tweet. Musk, who has had a chaotic reign as chief twit since buying the company in October, said he will become Twitter's executive chair and chief technology officer, overseeing product, software and system operations. In December, Musk ran a poll on the platform asking users whether he should step back as Twitter's CEO, which ended with the majority of users voting in the affirmative. Musk said he would abide by the results of the poll but later backtracked, saying he would hand over the role as soon as I find someone foolish enough to take the job. In February, he reiterated that he planned to find a replacement by the end of the year. Musk has faced criticism for a series of policy changes at Twitter, which often came without clear justification and raised concerns about the impact on Twitter's users. He has also been attempting to convince advertisers to rejoin the platform, after many fled over concerns about hateful conduct on the platform, Twitter's mass layoffs or questions about the company's future. At the same time, he has been trying to sell users on a new paid subscription platform that includes the ability to pay for a blue verification check mark, but appears to have limited traction so far. Musk, who runs or is involved in numerous other companies, including Tesla, TSLA, has also faced criticism from Tesla, TSLA, shareholders concerned that he is distracted by Twitter. Musk recently said that Twitter is now trending to break even, after previously saying it was at risk of bankruptcy. Now, the company's new CEO will be tasked with trying to help turn around the struggling company and help Musk recoup some of the $44 billion spent acquiring the platform. Even as Musk prepares to step back from the CEO role, he will likely maintain significant control over the future direction of the company. After taking over the company in October, Musk cleared out the C-suite, dissolved the board and became both the CEO and sole director of the platform.
So, and again, that's Speechify. I wanted to show that off because it was a good article to go and do it on, but I will talk about that later towards the end of the show. So Elon Musk says that, he needs to go ahead and find somebody to run the company, which is, it's accurate, right?
Yeah, he does.
So he goes out and he finds this Yannick person who scared the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah, well, why?
I don't know. I think she's in the pocket of the WEF, it looks like, maybe.
She's the chairman of a board there or something. I mean, she's a high up in the WEF. She was a pro-vaxxer, and not just a pro-vaxxer. She was a pro sanctions against unvaxxed people. She was like, they don't get to fly, they don't get to go to work, they don't get to infect other people. She was one of those people. It wasn't even freedom of choice. Like, yeah, I think you should get the vax, but if you don't, I'm cool with it. She was like, no, if you don't get it, you stay in your house and you watch porn all day. You don't get to go anywhere.
Talking about me again?
Hey, we got a Hefe. We got a Hefe. Yes.
Speaking of porn.
Watching porn all day. Yeah.
Hey, I get that stuff up.
Did you really?
I did.
So that's really good timing.
Was that like 5 minutes ago?
No. No. I don't know, a week or two ago.
Okay.
How's that working out?
I fell off the wagon a couple times, but I'm back on.
My man.
Hey, F.A., since you brought it up, what's your favorite kind of porn?
My favorite kind of porn.
Yeah, there's categories.
Like what do I search
Like,
for?
What's your go-to?
You're not looking it up right now, are you?
Okay, for instance, if one of my go-tos is always amateurs or cam girls. That's like my thing. So there, go ahead. There's something to build on.
Oh well, I mean, I guess I'm the elephant in the room here. I mean, how did I large breasts?
Like
Shocking.
large breasts doing anything or?
Well, no. I mean, just I guess so. Actually,
like that's your nexus, right? That's your starting point.
Yeah, I mean that's always a great place to start. Right between two big boobs.
Okay.
But I mean, I've had my different moods where it's like I'm feeling like I think what'd be quicker is to tell you what I'm not into.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That's
We
good.
can go
That's
that
a good
direction
angle.
also. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of anal.
Okay.
So I don't really gravitate towards that. Gay porn is no good. No.
Wait.
No good for you.
Wait. But so you don't like lesbian porn?
Not really. I prefer to, I mean, I guess a guy and a girl or multiple people, but if it's just two girls, I don't know. It doesn't. I could be in the mood for that, but in general terms, I don't really gravitate towards that either.
Okay. So would it be more because you're probably, that's like, you're not going to be involved with that.
I'm trying to keep it realistic a little bit. Like
maybe you are. I don't know.
Women. Yeah.
This is your psyche, bro. I have no idea.
There's no way this is going to happen. So why watch it?
So stupid.
Yeah. Waste of time.
Yeah. No. What about you guys? Have you recovered this, or is this a new subject here?
No, we haven't covered it. I mean, McShane kind of went first. What I find interesting, and because I'm as close to you guys as I am with anyone, as far as like our the way we see the world, our philosophy, the way we want to live our lives. We share a lot of things, and it's because we've known each other since we were kids, literally. And yet we all have such different tastes in porn. I love lesbian porn. I love it because I do picture myself there. For that very reason that you don't, Hefe, I actually, that's where I want to be. So I really, here's the funny thing. I've had this discussion with a friend of ours, John, but like, if I'm watching a guy and a girl and the guy doesn't have like a perfect body and a perfect cock, I want nothing to do with it. The last thing I want to see is some fat dude slobbering all over this young, cute girl. And it just repels me. I'm like, what? She's just doing it for the money. That's not sexy. It's just gross.
But maybe she loves him though.
I can't stand Ron Jeremy. For that reason. I understand who he is and what he's done for the industry, but I can't fucking stand the guy because he's a fat, slobby, fucking Mario guy with a big dick, and I can't stand him. So,
all right, I'm writing off that Fitz is never gonna watch me do porn. All right, good. Go ahead. Your turn.
Well, I mean, we're closer. No, but so
totally different.
Totally different. No, so I also I don't know. I have a lot of different moods. I feel like Hefe, you were talking about. Sometimes the mood strikes me. I've had a lot of different moods. I'm kind of. I'll go pretty much anywhere. I mean, I've watched anime. I've watched I'm all over the place. I've even watched some of that weird alien stuff, and I'm not going to say I got off on it because I just kind of don't, but I also can see where it would be sexy, especially for the Japanese, because they have such a fascination with octopuses and aliens and octopi, I should say.
So that's more like National Geographic type stuff.
Yeah, but it's it's deeper than that. I mean, they get fucking creepy with it. These giant, monstrous, like, the size of a marble column, this dude's cock, and he's having sex with a girl. And I don't know, they're just into some weird shit. Anyway, I've watched a lot of stuff, and it kind of just depends on the mood I'm in.
It is different. It is different. I'm all about the emotion. If I see them super, the guy is there, whatever. I don't even care. He's the equivalent of a dildo, right? But if she's like enjoying it, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
That's fun. I don't care what's attached to her at that point in time. It's all about the woman that's I just love that part.
Yep. Agreed. And if I feel like they're faking it, or like it's not genuine, they're not genuinely enjoying themselves, that's kind of a turnoff to me too.
Do you rate the video too and give it 1 out of 5 stars and say they fucking faked it?
No, no.
Yelp review.
I never rate them. I do my thing and I get out of there. I don't want anyone to know I was there. Yeah, I'm a ninja.
There was one that I saw a while back. I just thought of it. It was the storylines that come up with are great. It was the stepmom was doing a Zoom meeting from her couch, so she's like business dressed, right? And then the stepdaughter comes in and wants to quote play, and the stepmom is like trying to get her way and to finish her meeting, but then she comes back and she starts doing stuff to her, and then she gets off the meeting real quick, and then they go at it. That was kind of cool. I mean, there's times when two girls.
I'm sorry, hold on. I didn't have what was the name of that one?
Hold on. Unzip.
I didn't have a pen.
I'm not quite there yet.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you could maybe say that when you're looking for porn, any porn is good porn.
Yeah. And I don't judge anyone for whatever blows your hair back, man. To quote Good Will Hunting, whatever blows your hair back, fucking do it. I'm all about it. It's just, I just find it funny that, the three of us, we've all known. Hefe, you and I have actually, all three of us have known every single one of our girlfriends. We all know everybody we've ever fucked. We all know. And yet we have very different tastes when it comes to what gets me off, what gets you off. It's intriguing to me because I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool though? Everybody's got their own fix. And that's liberating.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is. So, Hefe, what's weird? The past couple of shows, no craziness is going on at the casino? No weirdness? Nothing?
Not really. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'll try to make this a quick story, but I was at a blackjack table dealing to the one guy who was just always irritable, always pissed off. And this other guy came and sat down, and he's like a high roller, and he's rich from real estate, and he's a douchebag. And so he sits down and he checks in a $500 chip, and I say, "And how'd you like it?" It's like, all black. Give him all $100 chips. Then he throws another 100 out. Another one of the black ones back to me. Can I get green with this? So I give him $25 chips for that one. And then he throws another black out and goes, "Give me $5 chips for this one." And I could just feel the other guy that was already at the table getting more and more pissed, right?
Yeah.
And so then we finally play a hand, and I pay the guy because he won both. He's playing two hands. So he won both hands. And then got his back turned. We're talking to his girlfriend, and I'm trying to get his attention. So you got to collect your winnings, and then are you going to be in this hand or not? And the other guy's getting more and more pissed. And I actually thought he was going to say something, and I thought it might escalate. Right. It didn't, luckily. But then the next table I went to, that guy, that same D-bag, he went over to another table and got into a scuffle with these guys, like a group of guys. And they pushed him, and I looked over, and his fucking shorts fell off. And I saw his and then he ran into the pit, calling for security, into the pit.
Whoa!
Yeah,
that's a big no-no.
So he's like, security. And I mean, you'd think a group of guys against one guy, who's going to get kicked out? Probably the group, but they kicked the other guy out because he started it, and it was the right thing to do. And the other guys, told the guy what happened, and they stayed. But that was kind of crazy. That doesn't happen every day. And there's a guy here tonight wearing a shirt that says, on the front, it says "fuck everybody." And on the back it says, what did it say?
He's a patriot.
Yeah. It said some kind of company name or something, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, it's a black shirt, like "fuck everybody."
My kind of shirt, man. You guys remember the shirts I used to wear?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of want that shirt now.
Well, and I still have the shirt that you sent me that says "fuck the colorblind," and I can't read it. one of my moments of glory right there. Oh, it's outstanding. Trust me, it's a great talking point for me.
Yeah, I'll bet. Oh shit. Good stuff. Well, see, all right, good. That makes me feel good because I'm like, if you have a job at a casino, you got to see some shit, man. It can't just be hunky dory every night.
Well, I've heard stories about the bigger casinos here in town, and there's a lot more. It's a lot more Vegas-y. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
Ours here is kind of chill, and a lot of locals and stuff like that. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you saying is that we need to go back to Vegas. What I'm getting from all of this is we need to go back.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad I'm reading you. Oh shit.
Oh. Hey, have either of you guys do you know anybody? Well, no, let's go here. Would you guys ever write a 500-word essay to be able to date a woman?
No.
Maybe. She'd have to be. I mean, it would have to be a thing where, like, I know enough about her to know that I really, really want that, and then she pops out on me like later on down the line, So I'm like already kind of emotionally invested a little bit. Then I'll be like, okay, well, but just like if it was on like a dating site or something, and I see that, I'm just skipping right past it.
So this woman, Lauren Kempton from England, requires her suitors to write a 500-word essay if they want to date her. Feeling fed up with online dating, Kempton revealed a dating strategy last year that resurfaced recently, asking for an essay is definitely a good way of weeding out what you don't want.
I guess.
I want her to write an essay then also. Fuck her.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
He's weeding out a lot more than just what she doesn't want.
Yep.
Well, why are we devaluing ourselves or having to express the value? First of all, there's not fucking thing about it that's romantic, period. No. Granted, this is a dating site, and I'm not knocking dating sites, but you're not starting from a position that's like super romantic anyway. But I'm going to use AI then. Fuck this.
Yeah. Which that was my response. I'm like, get on ChatGPT 4 and make that bitch write you just the most amazing story about why you want to be with this woman. I mean, it's arbitrary. It's bullshit. You could have somebody who's a fantastic writer, but is a piece of shit as a person. I mean,
I gotta go.
Okay, Hefe, have a good night, man.
All right, later.
Thank you.
Later.
You're welcome.
And you could have like a fucking a saint. You could have the Buddha in your hands, but he can't write well, or he sees through the bullshit. He's like, I'm not writing that. And then she just dismisses him. It's a ridiculous. I like the idea of, fine, then you fucking write me one too. And let's see if, I mean, basically you're saying, write me a cover letter and send me your resume.
That's what it is. And maybe that's what dating is. Maybe that's what dating is.
Job?
I have no idea.
It's a job. I guess it's
apparently
job.
If anything's a job if you treat it like that, which at that point, if you're treating love as a job, go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Remember when dating used to be fun? Do you remember like sitting in the parking lot at the mall or at the airport? I used to take my dates back before 9/11.
Oh, that's old school.
You could just walk into a fucking airport. And so I'd take my dates to Sky Harbor. You could park for 10 cents an hour.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I'd take them there. We'd eat at one of the restaurants. We'd people watch. You'd see everything. You'd see couples reuniting after a long trip. You'd see couples fucking breaking up. You'd see brothers. You'd see sisters. You'd see it all. Kids, families.
And then you get to get laid on the very top row.
Yes, exactly. Then we'd go up to the top of the parking garage and make out and watch the planes take off. That's dead, dude. All of that's gone. Now it's swipe left, swipe right. Oh, write me a 500-page essay. What? Fuck you, man. Swipe left. I'm out.
People might think asking for an essay was full on of me, but it was really a bit of fun. I didn't expect someone to take so much effort. You know what? Go get stop.
Is she a college professor? Like what? I mean, maybe if she was my college professor, I'd be like, all right, I get it why she wants an essay. I don't know.
No, she's just this stuck up, entitled 36-year-old that's gonna be alone for a long time. Check with her in about 10 years and let's see how those essays went.
Yeah, let's see how that worked out.
Oh God, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to get back to Yannick. What the hell's her name? Yacaneros.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you. So here's this to what your comments were.
Linda Yacarino here, class of 1980. We're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about masking up or packing up. I promise you, we're doing good so far. Just keep your distance, get your hands washed often, get tested often, and wear your mask. That'll get us closer and closer to normal days. We are resilient. We are tough. Keep doing it. And we'll be back at Beaver Stadium before you know it. Mask up or pack up. We're almost there. We are.
Okay, we're not done yet. Hold on. Let's go here next, because we have some really good stuff here. All right, let's go to here. This is a conversation with Elon.
Yeah.
That is so you've got a massive platform. You have a vision.
Yeah.
That is a spectrum of just daily open sourced conversation, and they can conduct their lives, their business, their commerce, whatever they can do on your platform. That's a pretty big vision. But in the middle should be advertising opportunity. That sounds like a great opportunity. I can talk about my brand, I can get my customers to communicate, and then they could also buy stuff. That sounds pretty good, right?
You will be able to buy things just directly on Twitter. One click, boom, done.
But they need to feel that there is an opportunity for them to influence what you're building, that vision. What we're doing here, whether it's me trying to push and prod you on your tweets. For example, you've said you probably shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m.
Well, I've got myself
probably good advice for all of us.
I've gotten myself into trouble a few times.
I'm very aware of those. So after 3 a.m., You travel all over the world. Lord knows how you handle time zones in space. Will you commit to be a little more specific and not tweet after 3 a.m.? People in this room would like to see that. It'll make them feel more confident.
I will aspire to tweet less after 3 a.m. But I mean, it is important that, I mean, if I were to say, yes, you can influence me, that would be wrong. That would be very wrong. Because that would be a diminishment of freedom of speech.
But I want to be specific about influencing. It's more of an open feedback loop for the advertising experts in this room to help develop Twitter into a place where they will be excited about investing more money, product development, ad safety, content moderation. That's what the influence is.
Yeah, I think it's totally cool to say that you want to have your advertising appear in certain places in Twitter and not in other places. But it is not cool to try to say what Twitter will do. And if that means losing advertising dollars, we lose it. But freedom of speech is paramount.
Amen. Amen, Elon.
So, Twitter 1.0 had a very well-populated, much-loved influence council. I think we need to change the name. Elon does not want to be influenced. But it was really a recurring feedback loop.
Yikes.
From your key stakeholders, your advertisers, where they had recurring access or would have recurring access to you. Would you commit from this stage today to reinstate that council to be named later?
Well, I don't think it should be influence council. And you have to say, I would be wary of that creating a backlash among the public, because if the public thinks that their views are being determined by a small number of CMOs in America, they will be upset about that. But feedback, I think, is appropriate.
I would have liked to have gotten the full video of that and where that was going to go. But holy shit. So she's hosting this go-between, and she's promoting that there should be moderation. There should be if we're going to have sponsors, we need to make sure that the sponsors get to go ahead and dictate what is on the platform. Now, Twitter's not the last bastion of freedom of speech. It's still a company. Let's not forget that. But this is not a good. That is not a good look.
No, it's really concerning, actually. I mean, if you just take, and this is a snippet. I don't really actually know the woman. Just as soon as it was announced, I went and did my research the way I do it and felt comfortable doing it. And what I found out I don't like about her. Now, I'm sure someone out there could do a search on me and find a lot of stuff they don't like about me. And yet I don't see myself as a bad person. I try and do good every day. So
right.
I understand that. That's all that is sort of background and context to the fact that I guess we're going to have to trust Elon's judgment. If that's who he chose, then maybe we just have to say, okay, Elon, we're with you here, and give her a fair shake. It's not like we get a vote. You know what I mean? We didn't vote for this person. We don't get to say whether
shares in Twitter. No.
So okay. And there's some big stuff coming up for Twitter, which she may handle very well. I'm definitely willing to give her her time. What I'm not willing, and I think I speak for a lot of people who are on Twitter, none of us are willing to go back to the days of outright censorship, of outright content moderation, of just outright discrimination based on what you say, your words. None of us are willing to go back to that. And so if if she even sniffs, has a faint whiff of that sort of behavior, I mean, Twitter will rebel. It'll be gone. So we'll see. We'll see.
I feel like he only has one shot at this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was kind of thinking that earlier today, that it's not like you get to do a do-over on this one.
It doesn't feel like it.
No, that's a good point.
I think it's good that he has she's handling the business, which translates to the advertising, the streaming that they want to do. Because I'm pretty sure the streaming is next. I think that there's a lot of, because the overall vision for Twitter is to be the everything app, right? Like, it's going to be the Uber Eats, it's going to be the Netflix, it's going to be the YouTube, it's going to be the branching out communications platform, it's going to be your WhatsApp, Messenger, it's going to be the everything app. That's the goal.
Yeah.
I think if she's only having influence on bringing in advertisers and bringing in making sure that the business runs, the money gets handled, and the people are taken care of, right? I think this works.
I have to agree with you, and I think
there's a huge but coming though, right? I mean, there's a massive but.
No. Well, yes, there is, but I'm not going there tonight because I think this is a developing story. I think we have to wait and see. I think it's very likely that we will have a show in the future where we will get to say we told you so. But I actually hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping that she kicks ass, that she continues what Elon has started here with a very much more free and open platform. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in it, and we'll just have to see. What I was going to say is I think it's very conceivable for the pretty near future that there will be two mega companies on this planet that will basically be running everything, and that will be Twitter and Amazon. I don't know if you've seen Amazon's new sort of social media aspect to a product. Not only can you go on there and basically Instagram style flip through people's reviews of products,
right?
But if you actually go to a product that you're interested in looking at, all of the reviews, if you include a picture or a video, it's Instagram style. So instead of reading the reviews, you can just flip through, and so they're doing like a social media style thing on. So Amazon is also trying to be the everything company. So I could see
all algos. Yep, it's all
algos. It's right, exactly.
Yep.
So I could definitely see a just a knockdown, drag out brawl between Twitter and Amazon, and maybe they'll become Twitter or Twittazon or something. I don't know, but they're definitely both vying. They're the top two runners right now, vying for acquiring this AI technology that can help their algos run even better. And so that the machines will be able to download and predict what we're going to do. And so then we'll be the computers and they'll be the sentient beings on this planet. That's what's coming, folks.
All right. I want to throw one more thing out there. That was an angle I didn't see coming. I want to throw this out there. So, Twitter has had a massive problem with the European Union. If they bring in somebody who's a homer for the WEF, which, I'll just read this right off the internet. According to her LinkedIn profile, which is accurate, Yacarino is also involved with the World Economic Forum, WEF, where she chairs the organization's task force on the future of work and sits on the Media, Entertainment, and Culture Industry Governors Steering Committee.
There it is.
Which screams... I want to control what you're thinking, what you're seeing.
Propaganda.
I think this calms Twitter's ability throughout Europe. I think this handles any kind of concerns that they have. I think it calms things down because you remember the European Union was all kinds of pissed off at Twitter because they weren't monitoring things as closely as they
called
thought they needed to.
Yeah, they called it monitoring. What they meant was censoring. But yes, I remember that very well.
Hyper moderation. Yep.
And it almost looked like Twitter wasn't even going to be accessible in lots of European member states.
Exactly. All right, let's break out the Blue Book. All right, this is our Blue Book of predictions.
Okay.
Give me Twitter. Do you want to go 6 months or a year?
Let's go a year, because I feel like these things move fast, but even quote unquote fast, it takes a year for these things to really percolate and fester.
All right, so 1 year. Do you feel that Twitter's message will be what's the word for it? I'm willing to almost say compromised. Or do we want to go and engage off of a freedom of speech?
No, I think I and our listeners know what you mean by compromised. That it has somehow lost its way again within a year. And I actually, God damn it, I mean, good for you for pinning me down on it. I actually think that's the truth. I don't think Twitter will be the free speech platform that we all want it to be a year from now. I don't. I think there are too many pressures from too many angles. And knowing what we do know about Elon, he'll be like, fine, fuck it. I don't care. I'm going to go concentrate on SpaceX and Tesla again. So yeah, I actually think Twitter's in trouble here. What about you?
I'm going to go no. I want to see a fucking brawl between her and Elon, and I want to see her get fired.
Okay. I would love to see that too.
That's where I'm going to go with it. All right. We'll see what the book of predictions touts in about a year. So
the Blue Book. I like it.
The Blue Book. Fitz, it is time. What beer are you taking to bed? You've got a really tough conversation to have.
I do. This has only happened one other time. But I'm gonna do it again tonight. I'm having a threesome.
Wow.
I'm having a threesome. I
thought it was going there. All right.
The Against the Grain was really one of the more superior imperial stouts I've had in a long time. That I just don't know how they got the caramel apple in there the way they did, but they fucking nailed it. I mean, you couldn't do any better. I mean, it was a caramel apple in a can. It was just amazing. And I know we've got some listeners out there that sort of live vicariously through us, and they hear us talk about an amazing beer, but they can't find them, or they don't know where to start or whatever. So just let me tell you, any of you out there in beer land, in listener land, this beer was exactly what you think it was. It was a liquid caramel apple. It was amazing. And it was a 12.2. So I got a nice buzz off of it on top of it. But out of left fucking field comes this Vecna, this weird amalgamation of flavors that somehow work perfectly together. I mean, you got your dark and sensual with the Against the Grain, but this is your trailer park. She comes out of the trailer park, but she's a supermodel, and she just comes in with a teener of fucking Coke, and it's like, hey, can I join in? I mean, how could I say no? So I'm doing Coke off of trailer park hookers' butts, and the whole while I'm having some really great caramel apple sex. So I have nothing negative to say about either of these beers. What a great show for me, just based on the quality of beer that I got. Amazing stuff. So, what about you? What are you taking to bed? Yeah, I'm happy.
No doubt about it. Mirror Twins Brewing, and they are off. It was incredibly close to being a perfect beer. I've had some perfect beers in my time.
Yeah.
It had to have been right up there. Fantastic pour, wonderful mouthfeel, boozy. Like it was, if you're going to pick a beer, like on your happiest day, right? Like we'll go and we'll say it's like your championship Sunday, right? There's only one beer that you're going to pick. You're going to go to. This is how I want to end my night. This is going to ice the cake. It's fucking aces. It's perfect. That beer was goddamn perfect. Wow. Weathered Souls Bake Sale got better. Not perfect though. It did not reach the level of what that Mirror Twins Brewing was. I'm gonna have to talk to Moose Lounge and see if I can secure some more of that.
Yeah.
And the bribe factor is gonna be high, but goddamn, that beer rocked.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome, dude. It's rare for McShane and I to say, the word perfect when it comes to beer. We've had some great beers and we've had some great beer experiences. But if you're going to elevate something to a perfect beer, I'm impressed. I'm feeling the need for that, to try that beer myself. I would love to have that. I will say both of these beers I had tonight, I won't put them up in the perfect category. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they were both equally, that 9.5 realm, like right there, close to perfect. And maybe on another night and another time with different experiences or whatever, they would be a perfect beer. But just tonight, they were just phenomenal, but not perfect. So that's huge. I'm impressed you said that.
Yeah, it was that beer was special.
Hey, real quick before I know we're getting ready to sign off.
Yep.
And I know the show's going to come out on Monday and this is Saturday, but in between those 2 days, falls a really important day. And I, on behalf of Hefe and McShane, and especially myself, I want to give a huge shout out to all the mothers out there. Mother's Day is tomorrow. Most holidays I think are kind of arbitrary, like Valentine's Day, fuck off. Like you should love your spouse, your significant other, whoever you're with, you should love them every fucking day. You don't need a holiday for that. But Mother's Day, there goddamn should be a day to celebrate all the amazing mothers out there, because all of us had one. And all of us in one way or another benefited from their hard work. And I can say personally, I was raised by a single mother, so all of who I am is my mom. So everything that I have and do and can claim to be in this life came from one woman, and that was my mom. And so happy Mother's Day to all of the amazing mothers out there. I know we have a lot that listen to this podcast. We have a huge mother following on this podcast. And so for all of you out there, thank you for everything you do for not just your kids. Being a mom is not just about the kids. It's about the family and all of the things that come along with that. So, in all sincerity, we wouldn't be here without you. And thank you for everything you do. You guys are amazing.
I'm really glad you brought that up at the end of the show here. I could not agree more. Moms, you guys go in a place that we can't go. We don't go. There's a heart there that we just don't have. It's a totally different relationship with our kids. So,
yeah.
Hats off to you. Like Fitz said, the work, the effort that's put in, the emotional stress that goes into it, and the joys that you get, you're much appreciated. So, it's a little late in the night, but I am totally fine. Both of my beers are for you guys.
Yeah, agreed. Cheers to all the moms, and God God bless all of you, and thanks for doing what you do. And shit, every day should be Mother's Day, but if it's going to be a day that we get to celebrate you, then let's have it be in May when, all the flowers are blooming and it's beautiful outside, and at least here. And so here's to all the moms. We love every one of you.
Follow us on Twitter. It is at whiskey_hell. whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com is the website, is the email. whiskeyhellpod.com is the website. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
We'll talk to you soon.